Ayo, ayo. Ayo, ayo. Hello, chat. The hero catalog is out, which is the in-depth stat page you can look at right here on the website. This will be viewable in-game as well. It's great. Being able to look at all the numerical statistics and details of the heroes, such as how fast does something go? How much health do you have? How much damage do you do? You can know it here. If you want to look up your heroes, your characters, who do you want to play, well, you can look at the all the things here. I will be playing Moon Knight. So far, I think that his damage output, which is 60 per shot total on your first target, by the way, or total damage with 3 people. Alright, his crescent's always AoE up to 3 people. Maximum number of bounces 3 with damage fall off. It's minus 20% damage, which is 5, right? So 60 total. 60 total damage. And the thing is, single target, there's no damage fall off on the bounce, right? Because it's single target, you're gonna be like 75 damage. And the attack speed is pretty good. Like 0.57 seconds between basic attacking, right? It's like you have 75 damage if you hit your projectiles per 0.57 seconds. Now, most heroes have 250-ish health. So the time to kill, if you're gonna aim, is about 4 seconds. But here's the thing. If you place the Ankh down, you gotta have reduced damage, right? Because your first hit will deal full damage, which is 25. If you're going to bounce off of the Ankh, and your basic attacks and your abilities bounce off of this ability, the Ankh will be the first initial hit. So the bouncing off of the Ankh will deal less damage anyway. Your AoE from the Ankh will deal less damage. No matter what. Instead of single targeting one character with AoEing around them. If you get what I mean. It's like you are better off saving your Ankh against less than 3 people, I would say. If you're... It depends on the map, on the situation as well, where you are positioned. Because around corners, you're gonna want the Ankh to be like, I would say closer to you than closer to them, because the Ankh doesn't have a whole lot of health. It doesn't actually say what the health is. but it can be damaged. It can be destroyed. So not every single existing detail is present here. But so I know that it can be damaged. It can be destroyed, which means that you don't have. You should try to not make it obvious that you're gonna place down the Ankh. So if you're gonna play it to people, after a bit of time where people gets to know the kid, right? Once people get to know Moon Knight, they're going to want to bait the Ankh first. You're gonna have little downtime between your attacks because Moon Knight attacks constantly. He has little downtime between attacks, so it's no use to really wait out a Moon Knight's engage. And the best tool to wait out a Moon Knight for, if you're going against the Moon Knight, would be the Ankh. And in my personal anticipation, I think an Ankh is great if they're going to place it on a wall instead of the ground. The ground would be the most common place for the Ankh to be placed at, so people will expect, hey, oh, Moon Knight's going to place an Ankh in between us. So, now, if there's a wall nearby, it's better to put it on the wall nearby, put it somewhere where they don't expect, somewhere where they need to aim at a different angle to kill it. Make it more difficult for your enemies to get to the Ankh. Right? If that makes sense. If you are playing Moon Knight and you want to catch someone with low health or catch someone around a corner, position yourself to not go around a corner to chase and then die. You want to try to preserve an Ankh to deal damage from a position where it is more difficult for your opponents to hit you. Now, the Ankh has a 12-second cooldown, which is fine. We'll need to see how relevant the cooldown is for you to be able to maintain this kind of positioning. Because the cooldown on Ankh, I would say, is most crucial to you deciding how long you're going to want to defend a certain corridor. Because the Ankh is the only way for you to be able to actually damage a small amount of people. But if you're just fighting into a team with your team, you just want to throw out basics. You don't want to use the Ankh into a team. Because if you're just basic attacking an Ankh, you will have... Look, the first shot of an Ankh deals full damage, 25. Additional bounces deal 20% less damage, which counts for an Ankh. Okay, if you're attacking your Ankh, the subsequent hits that will bounce off of the Ankh will deal less damage anyway. You're dealing less damage to the enemy if you're focusing on your Ankh. So if you're fighting into a team, just auto attack. Just auto attack. Just Moonblade. And that's it. That's your main DPS. Don't let yourself deal less damage by thinking the Ankh is superior in team fights. Okay? Ankh is not meant to deal more damage in a team fight by spamming it on cooldown. It's not meant to do that. Okay? It does very little damage on landing anyway. It's not meant to deal damage. And your Crescent Darts and Moonblades deal less damage on the subsequent hits. So, first tip is if you're fighting into a team, preserve the Ankh more than you think you want to. Just Crescent Dart and Moonblade without the Ankh. Please. Preserve, or rather make use of your bounce damage. Okay? Ankh makes you deal less damage. That's the thing. Keep that in mind. Okay. Next. Mobility. You have a double jump, which is kind of crazy. Because I think like, oh, does Namor need a double jump? Or does Moon Knight need a double jump? Because Moon Knight has a grappling hook. And Namor has a 15-second jump up. Where he then slows himself, right? And then you can hover somewhere. It's a specific playstyle for Namor. But on Moon Knight you have more ways. Hi. Are you enjoying my my statistic rambling? Big Daddy Griller? Uh I'll talk about the specifics of, well, Moon Knight here. I'm just theory crafting on the stat page here. I just rambled a whole lot on when to use Ankh and understanding that you don't actually want to use this a lot. Ankh does very little damage on its own, and you're losing out damage if you're using it on cooldown in team fights. Because your Crescent Darts on Moon Knight have bouncing. You got half of it. Okay. So here's the thing. Here's your Moon Knight's most important tip. Your attacks bounce. Your basic attacks, Crescent Dart, they bounce off of enemies. Your Moonblade, your right click, also bounces off of enemies. But each bounce deals less damage. 20% less damage. Up to 3. You can place down this Ankh somewhere, and you can then bounce off of the Ankh. Here's the thing. The damage fall off, this minus 20% per bounce, counts for the Ankh. So, you're dealing less damage if you're focusing on attacking your Ankh in teamfights instead of not using your Ankh at all and just attacking the enemy straight up. If you just attack the enemy straight up with Crescent Dart and Moonblade, you will deal more damage than using Ankh with it. Because of the buffering. Oh no! I only have one stream quality, 1080. I can do more, but that's like an affiliate only thing. If I could add more quality options, I would. um, so I was moving on to Moon Knight's mobility. And I was going to look at the projectile speed of Ankh, actually. Um, and I'm thinking like from the gameplay, you blame Comcast. That's fair. You could, when in doubt, blame Comcast. That's good. Comcast is, I mean, from the stories, it's never good. Never good. So it depends on the downtime in between your animation of your hook. Like you can target somewhere and then press F to launch your grappling hook. You shoot it out 120 meters a second. It's pretty fast. Um, and then you just pull yourself up. Good speed, but choppy at times on your end. Okay. Uh, but nothing really on my end then. I've tested out the stream quality a couple times so far, and I've landed on pretty good settings. Um, so far, people have said the stream has basically no issues. I hope, yeah, except for the limited quality options, but that's just Twitch. I would have all quality options if I could, but that's not something that you can really do as a non-affiliate or partner. Um, so I landed on 1080 60. Um, and yeah. So from the gameplay that I've seen, the grappling hook itself, from the moment you cast it, is pretty fast. It's just the slowest part of this ability is you actually going up in the air and then being able to do something. It's one of the slowest jumps upward in the game, I think. Um, and I'm not entirely sure about the best case scenario just yet because you have your double jump, but your double jump is on the 6 second cooldown, so it's like an extra, like an additional jump with an extra step, right? It's just an extra mobility option. And I think the most important use case actually is to just get on a ledge instead of using double jump. I think what I'm gonna anticipate is that you want to use grappling hook to get onto a ledge and then save your double jump for extra view space for you to be able to then cast an Ankh from range or just have more sight on the field. Um, and as you know, or may know, may not know, you have slow fall. Right, your night glider. If you hold shift, you slow fall with pretty good speed. So, what's the cooldown on grapple? 15. That's hefty. So your grappling hook is on a 15-second cooldown, while your double jump is on a 6. So you can double jump 2 times in the time that hook comes up. Uh, which is to me an indication that 15-second cooldown leaps upward, which is the same for Namor. Um, his shift is the you fly upwards and then stay still in the air for 3 seconds. It's also the 15-second cooldown. The thing is, your ability to get onto higher environments is very valuable in this game. So people have said that 50 seconds is a big cooldown for Namor because that's his only jump up. Well, yeah. It's on the edge of this is pretty good, and I understand the cooldown. And wow, this is a chunky cooldown, and it may not be my playstyle to get up on ledges and attack from positional higher grounds. Like it's a playstyle preference, but it's a thing that you should learn. Because going around the map, walking, takes a while to get to an upper ledge. This is a shortcut. Any shortcut, which is a jump up to a higher ledge, is great in this game. So don't be afraid to use a 15-second leap up as a way to get on a ledge. Don't hold out. Or rather, don't hold back. Is my advice. So for Moon Knight, let's go back to Moon Knight. The grappling hook, also 15-second cooldown. Use it to get on ledges. Use it on cooldown to put yourself on a higher position. Then use double jump to get a brief view on the battleground, get into a position where you can potentially throw out an Ankh, add a few basic attacks, or use the extra double jump for your glide. If you want to glide somewhere, you can combine the hook. If you start with hook and then double jump and then glide, you can actually get some pretty long distance in. If you get what I mean, that is. For my beta and alpha experience, it's that three things: make use of the range that you have. A key thing to learn from the stat page is projectile speed. Because each character has different projectile speeds. Which means that if one character, like Namor, let's go to Namor, has higher or faster projectile speed on his basic attacks, it's 120. It's pretty fast. If this is faster than another hero, you are in an easier position to trade. Namor is a pretty potent defensive character, especially on Asgard defense. You can hold out a specific position very well. He's an anti-flanker. And I believe the only other character that could really rifle up against his defensive positioning strengths is Hawkeye, actually. When I first saw Hawkeye, it was like, yeah, he's a good flanker. Because is Hawkeye in here? Yes. Hawkeye is a great flanker into defensive heroes because he can already start his engage from a longer distance. He can prepare and then have the tools to push him as a flanker. Especially into characters like Namor who are great at positional defensiveness. But the thing with Namor is, you want to pick Namor into if you are confident in holding out a certain position, then Namor is really great. Namor is excellent at defending points from any flying character, from flankers, um, and don't be afraid to be oppressive. Don't go too aggressive at all. Don't push in with Namor unless the situation calls for it. Unless your team goes in, get yourself a good position by using shift to get up onto a ledge. And I know there is the barriers attached to it, right? This is the thing with Namor that a lot of people don't like, is that everyone has been saying, or a good amount of people have been saying, that Namor's shift could be cut into two abilities, right? Because it's a jump up, then you stay put in the air while you have your barrier around you. You don't do anything while you're doing this. And it's like, okay, so the ability has the potential to be useless. But I don't, sure, I see where people are coming from, but it's a jump up. Right? Jump ups are very powerful, like I said before. Even though the cooldown is 15 seconds, they're potent. If you want to decide when to use this ability, think about this. Why hold out on using this ability at all to get on ledges? If you're thinking about, oh, I need to save my protective barrier in case something happens. Yeah, well, if nothing is happening, then you're just removing an ability by not using it from yourself. That's the thing that people are not getting, is this is a jump up. Use the cooldown, use the jump. Get on ledges. Make use of Namor's excellent defensive potential. Right? And even though you don't have great other mobility, like no dodges to the side, the only mobility he has is just jump up. So there is a risk factor, but from my time on the beta with Namor, it's that this downtime of not having this jump, not having this shield, is less important than actually using the ability for what it can do, which is primarily get up on something. 2, use the barrier next time you're going to use it, potentially. You're going to want to use the barrier to protect yourself from ranged attacks, from an incoming Iron Man ult, for example. Because you're going to want to place your turrets. Now we're going into the turret territory. Learning Namor is mostly all about positioning. This is for yourself and your turrets. Don't just put your turrets on the ground, because the ground can be destroyed. For example, the ground is a low spot rather than on the wall behind you. Try to give your turrets the most and widest amount of shoot space. Space that they can shoot in, right? Line of sight. Give your turrets the most line of sight they can have. And make them able to be defensible from you and from primarily you. If you have your shift active, or available, rather, you're jumping up. If you want to defend yourself or your turrets and you want to use your shift, you're jumping up. So if you can place your turrets down a little bit above your line of sight behind you, if you can then use your shield up to then defend your turrets behind you. Because if you're just gonna place your turrets on the ground and you're dashing upwards to protect them, you're not protecting them because they're on the ground below you. Right? It's like understanding. Um, it's understanding your numbers. How I'm gonna press shift. I'm going up. Oh, but I placed my turrets on the ground below, so they are now an easy target to kill. Because I'm doing nothing elsewhere. Yeah. Place your turrets higher above you. Um, let's see. What else? I mean, there's plenty else to talk about, but those were the main point. Oh yeah, I was doing points. So, one, don't be afraid to use your stuff. Don't be afraid to use your leaps, your jumps. Get onto ledges. Your positioning is important. Two, know your trades. This is mostly game experience, but you can already theorycraft art here on the website. Um, because let's look at the projectile speeds here. Namor is 120. I saw Moon Knight 120. So those are equal um, trade speeds. Like you're basically attacking each other. You gotta hit each other at the same time. Namor is better because his basics deal more damage than Moon Knight single target. Right, you're not gonna want to trade into Namor as a Moon Knight from long range. That's clear. Um, what you could do is throw out your Ankh somewhere near Namor's turret and then take out his turret. Like that. I think that's one way to engage into a Namor as Moon Knight from range. Let's look at other projectile speeds. Let's say Doctor Strange. Daggers. Yeah, look, 60. Doctor Strange's projectiles are half as fast. Let's see, Hela. Thorns. Oh, these don't even have a projectile speed. It's crazy. Single cast direct hit damage 70. Hela's basics got Omega nerfed. And they have bigger damage fall off. But they are a little bit faster as well, I think. Magneto, Loki, Iron Man. I think Iron Man is slower. Yeah, Iron Man is half as fast as Namor and Moon Knight. Star Lord. I think they just disappear at range. Winter Soldier. I had not played. Yo, look at this. Actually higher. Winter Soldier's basic attacks are very fast. Damn. That's crazy, actually. 180 per second. That's extremely fast. Okay, so understanding projectile speed right here already makes me understand that Winter Soldier is a good flanker as well. He can quicker, he can more quickly engage or flank trade with a defending Namor or Moon Knight or whoever else. Let's see, the hook. Let's see how far the hook goes. So the hook is average. Average speed, but the range can travel up to 10 meters with a charge, 20 meters. So here's the thing: you can trade with the faster projectile speed, but he still needs to get in. Dash forward. We'll have to wait and see. I think I'll need to play a couple of games to see Winter Soldier's like impact. Um, but people have been saying that he's pretty good, especially when he has a rocket team boost. 25% additional attack speed is crazy on a Rotorstern. So they're adding great flankers actually. So Winter Soldier may be good, but I've also seen him be very effective when he's pushing with at least one other teammate or with a tank. I think Soldier is a great mid range in between the tank and the backline kind of character to really add a lot of push. Who else? So Psylocke. Let's see. She just has fall off. She's not great range. Or like an initial flanker from range and get something going. I think her tools rely on her being able to go invisible and dash. I think that especially could make her be a potent flanker into Namor. Depends how long the invisibility is. When attacked while in stealth, Psylocke will remain in stealth but will briefly become visible for a short duration. Okay, see, 3 seconds. It's not the longest stealth ever. What's more important is the 50% movement speed boost for 3 seconds. Can she dash? While remaining in stealth? I think so. So they've only added great flankers. Psylocke, Hawkeye, Winter Soldier. That's actually kind of wild. Wait, that's great actually. That was like one of the things that was one of the weakest parts with attacking in this game. Because there were, I mean, you could flank, but there were not great or rather excellent flank characters. So at times, matches could very heavily rely on an abundance in defensive capability. I think Hawkeye, Winter Soldier, and Psylocke are excellent additions to teams wanting to attack, engage, push, and flank. They know what they're doing with these kits and the roster. It's great to see. I haven't played Cap as well. He seems like a pretty good mobile tank. Don't really have too much to say with him. Da, 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 da. Yeah, so my mains are definitely gonna be Moon Knight and Namor. I'm one of those rare Namor mains. And I'm mostly thinking about the flankers. The three newest. Hawkeye, Psylocke, and Winter Soldier. Um, three of which I haven't played with and against yet. So I'll do my best to theory craft here, think forward and prepare. But for those three, I just haven't seen them in game. The arrow has 180. Yeah, look at that. So a fully charged Hawkeye trades faster than Namor attack speed. Yeah, Namor's projectile speed. I'm thinking like, okay, once a Hawkeye has initiated on you as a Namor, right? He will have an initial hit. Um, and he will deal 80. Like initial hit 80, because Hawkeye can't one shot from the get go. He needs his passive to be able to do anything on you. Lethally, that is. You have reaction speed. It's great game design. In Overwatch, for example, Widowmaker can just hold right click behind a wall, step from behind the wall and just release. It's madness. There's way less counterplay than Hawkeye's passive is excellent. An excellent answer to that kind of gameplay. It's way less frustrating. It is engaging. It is fun. They know exactly what they're doing. I love this. So once if you are Namor and a Hawkeye started an engage on you, you have 3 seconds from that point onward to engage back. You have 275 health as Namor, which means that you could survive maybe survive 2 more hits. You have 3 seconds or 2 hits to react back. See, how much health does Hawkeye have? 250. 250. Namor can do 70. 70 for 70 per 1.09. You right click if you have it up. Is about 40 base plus your turrets. Turrets. If you have one, let's do one. 17 times 2. Let's say 30. Let's say 30 on this one. So you have 70, 30. That's 100. That's 40. 140. That's a little over half than Hawkeye's health, which means that you will have a higher damage output at the 2-second mark that Hawkeye is casting. So 2 seconds into the 3-second engage into Hawkeye, Hawkeye will have the initial surprise, but Namor has a bigger burst on the 2 seconds, and this is where most decisions come in. The 2 into the 3-second mark will be where Namor will have the widest range of options, the Hawkeye as well, of what to do next, because Hawkeye could remain stationary, charging his basic attacks to attack, risking his slower movement speed positioning into a Namor. And if you miss here as Hawkeye, you're doomed. If your second or third arrow misses or doesn't headshot a Namor, you are at risk at not being able to really succeed in this engage. Many benefactors come in here. Is what is the terrain here? Does Namor have his shift up? If Namor has his shift up, he could use it if he can anticipate an incoming arrow. Which in the time that you're in here, your cooldown will come back up. A Hawkeye absolutely needs to finish an engagement on a Namor within 6 seconds. It's plenty of time for people who know what they're doing, but often Namor's offensive capability has a relatively great sustained damage output. Right? The reason why Namor is so strong defensively is because of his low cooldown defensive output. And yeah, I'll have to see and play how Hawkeye players want to initiate on me. And I could ramble for this like this for a long time. I'm gonna prepare myself like crazy. I want to climb those ranks. My most played were Namor, Iron Man, Doctor Strange, Scarlet Witch, Thor. I actually liked Thor. Can I bring up a clip? Hold on. Maybe. Can I bring up a clip? Yeah, yeah. Thor. Oh, here's a Thor clip. Okay, hold on. Can I hold on? Window. Hold on. Add files. Hold on, hold on, hold on. Thor, look at this. So I like Thor. Da 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 da. Dee 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 dee. Um. Next, I really want to theorize the turrets. Because now what's happening is critical strikes cause Montrose spawn, so the turrets, to gain attack speed. The attack speed is 5 rounds per second. It's a decrease of 150%. Fall off, fall off. So 30% at 40. It's kind of crazy. The fall off maybe a little bit too much. I know it's like the least in the game. I think this damage fall off from range on these turrets. Um, but I'm wondering if the rounds. I need to calculate how much damage the output is in between a couple seconds. Because I want to understand my damage output for like each additional second of combat. Right here. Da 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 da. Da, 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 da. Let's see, can I bring up some music? OST main menu. Oh my god. That will do. So it's 2 rounds per second, which is 70 times 2 per second. It is 34. No, 30. Oh. 34. So 34 a second, right? Which is 104 per second on average if you hit. For Namor, 1. Don't underestimate the thirds. So 104, this is 5 rounds per second, so that's 55 per second. Let's start with 34. So 34, 104 per second if you hit your basics and your I think Namor might be the most dangerous for Hawkeye to engage in. But both heavily depend on hitting things, of course. I think Namor's more consistent. Because Hawkeye can't really... If Hawkeye spams his arrows, he will deal less damage than Namor can do back to him. Hawkeye has more downtime. Unless he fully engages. If he fully plays aggressive, I can respect that. But he then needs to hit it. If a Hawkeye can hit his things and plays fully aggressive into Namor, then I think he could win. He needs to play it smart. I think a Hawkeye needs to focus turrets. First, yeah, a Hawkeye should prioritize positioning and turrets into Namor. Right? It's... I think Namor is all about that mid-range. Damage output. La 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 la. Dee 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 dee. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. I'm gonna upload my whole rambling on YouTube, by the way. This first, how long have I been live? A while now? An hour? Yeah, I'm gonna post the first hour. On YouTube. Get my whole rambling out on Namor, on Moon Knight, and whatever. Because I keep wanting to make videos and stuff, but I just work best if I ramble with the knowledge that I have. Which will only be more constant and more in-depth and whatever the more I'm gonna play the game. I mean, I'm gonna play ranked, I'm gonna play competitive. I want to apply this type of inspiration for game stats. Bum 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 bum. So I think it's best to just upload the VODs. We'll see where we go. For now, I think that was part 1. Part 1 of my stat rambling. I'll be live again in the coming days. So thanks for coming, Big Daddy Griller, if you're still here. I could lower the stream to 720, but it depends. We'll see if most people request. You know, I adapt to who's watching, so we'll see, we'll see, we'll see. See you tomorrow.